Hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. Get on in the room. I see you coming. I see you coming. I am welcoming you. I am so excited. Welcome, everybody, to the main event Monday. Let us know exactly where it is that you are zooming in from. Of course, we've got everybody zooming in from all across the United States and Canada. Get on in. Where are you zooming in from? Tell me right there in the chat. Sonora Dancer here, coming to you from Colorado Springs, Colorado. But where are you guys zooming in from? I don't see you. I know you're part of the team, but we got new people here too. Hello. So let's just let everybody know where it is you're zooming in from. There you go. It's starting to go up now. It's going fast. I see Texas and you guys are zooming in from everywhere. And I'm just so happy, so excited, guys. Let me tell you, there's a lot of information, some really exciting announcements, some outstanding training that you guys are getting ready to get ready for. So make sure that you have your pen and your paper ready because you definitely want to take some copious notes coming in, guys. I am so happy, so excited that you're here, but even more exciting to introduce it's the man of the hour, Mr. Jim Tanner. And you guys know all about him. But guess what? I'm going to share with you because, again, we've got new people that are here this evening and joining us as well as listening to the replay. Mr. Jim Tanner, he is an amazing individual. He's also my good friend, mentor. He has a book by the name of On Purpose, and he's going to tell you a little bit, hopefully, about some new things that are also on the horizon as well, too, and share with you all kinds of exciting information and some really fantastic training that you don't want to miss. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over, Mr. Jim Tanner.
Sonora, thank you very much. Hey, thanks everybody for joining me. We get everybody coming in, and of course we're recording this for all of you that couldn't be with us live. Hopefully, you're hearing me clearly, and you're ready for me tonight because I'm probably too ready for you. I mean, as many of you know, we just came back from the Performance Club trip, Riviera Maya. So I flew home Saturday afternoon. Spent the day yesterday. We had great weather here in Boston, so I spent the day yesterday kind of hanging out in the yard and just doing stuff and getting recalibrated back to home. And I spent a lot of time yesterday and this morning thinking about what I wanted to share with you tonight because one of the options was I could do the same thing you saw this morning. I could have folks talk about the trip and that would be fun. It's fun to hear from folks that were there, but I just want to share something with you that kind of informed everything we're going to talk about tonight, which is that I just spent 5 days with, first of all, some of the most influential people in my life, like all together. I think I had to spend a ton of time with Steve Melia. The Melia organization really, Legal Shield Cares really came out of the Melia organization's work, play, love effort in Guatemala. They've made millions of dollars in this business. They have helped people become millionaires in this business. And Steve Melia specifically, Sonora, you were talking about On Purpose, my book. Steve Melia, who had written a couple of books at that point, including 30 Ways in 30 Days, which is really just one of the books that everybody points to as transformative in their lives. I remember confessing to him in 2019 at the Performance Club trip that I wanted to write a book. I believed I had a book in me. And, I had secretly kind of written some stuff. And he grabbed me back then and he said, let's get this book out of you. And he introduced me to publishers and he introduced me to processes that you learn about how to write. And then he followed up with me and he stuck with me until the book came out a year later. And then he championed the book when it did come out. He read it. He helped me get it in front of other people. So I spent a lot of time with Steve Miller. I spent a lot of time with John Hoffman. I spent a lot of time with Mark Richards, people that have been just absolutely integral to there's no Jim Tanner story without their story being part of it, without their names as a part of it. And frankly, I'm leaving out dozens of people who have been part of it over the years. And especially on these trips, because while convention is its own thing, convention is awesome, this is something different. People are a little bit more laid back. I mean, there's less of an agenda. There's less structure and schedule. And so for all of us, we just had the freedom to hang out. But more than anything, I want to make sure this is clear. More than anything, what I saw, witnessed, and felt from our CEO all the way to our presidents of both divisions and all these other folks, what I saw and felt was this. Everybody understands we are in a unique space and time. I'm watching people that weren't even in our business last year become $50,000 ring earners. I'm watching people that couldn't qualify for the trip last year because they've been here less than 12 months and they're executive directors today. And I said, you know what, I need to bring that home. I need to make sure that you guys understand how different this company is today versus when I got started 21 plus years ago, but frankly, versus 2 years ago, 3 years ago. The energy, the momentum, we have everything we need. So look, I've got, and Sonora's helping me kick it off. I've got John Fehrenbach, who's going to help me here in a few minutes. I want you, if you're here with me live, I want you to know I'm excited to be here. And I know that I've got I've got people at different places in their Legal Shield career, right? So I know who everybody is. I know that some of you are rising stars and future leaders. Some of you have already been running like a house on fire, blazing a trail for others to follow. And for some of you, maybe you're still like finding your feet or still wrestling with belief. Maybe some of you are just still trying to figure out how to put Legal Shield into your daily grind, right? Maybe that kind of a thing. And you have those nagging doubts that whisper in the quiet moments, telling you that it's not real. But I think for most of you, you can see that it is. So then you have a different voice, one that says you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not ready enough. But no matter where you are on your journey, no matter what you've achieved or what challenges you're currently facing, I just know this, the absolute truth burned into my soul, not just from 2 decades in this business, but especially from this last week, is that you can do this. I mean, I believe in you. I believe in your potential. And I believe in what we can all achieve together and what you can achieve for yourself and your family. And frankly, most of you have no idea yet. It is beyond your wildest imagination. It just is, okay? So tonight, we're probably going to go deeper than we've ever gone before. And I get excited, but this is not going to be like a motivational pep talk where you feel good for an hour and then you just kind of like, that's it. Like everybody says goodnight and it's over, right? We're not going to go back to familiar patterns. We're not going to go back to any of the comfortable procrastination. If we do, then I did this wrong. I'm not just here to motivate you. I'm not here for platitudes or warm fuzzies. But I do want to coach you and challenge you. And I want to tell you some stories. I wrote down some stories. I've got them on my screen so I don't forget them. That's why I'm looking right here. Besides, I've got you guys over on both sides. But I wrote some stuff down I don't want to forget. But because what we do here and what Legal Shield offers and the protection, the empowerment, the freedom, it's just too important. And let me see if I can explain this. What we do is so important, right? You've heard me say it's important, noble work. It's so vital. It's so life-changing that I feel like we're just being too polite to each other about it. It's too crucial what we do to tiptoe around the things that are holding any of us back from the freedom, the impact, the income that is available to all of us. Really, the life you were meant to live. You signed up. You said, "Hey, listen, I'm whatever it was. You trusted somebody enough. You saw the videos, and you said, I'm in." You have walked through a door, right? This is not a business overview. You're here. You're associates. You've walked through the door, and the life you were truly meant to live is on the way through this door. And I remember in my early days, full of fire, yes, but also like full of self-doubt. Like I'd come home from a meeting. We didn't have any virtual meetings back then, but we had conference calls. But I'd come back from the meeting like in a hotel, fired up, convinced I was going to conquer the world. But then by the next morning, just talked right out of it, right? Just talked out of it. then my brain would say, well, you just need one more day to prepare. Just one, you got to learn a script. You got to get inspired. And before I knew it, hours were gone, days were gone, calls weren't made, and my fire would dim and the self-doubt would fill in that space. I was my own worst enemy. And this is one of the things I was reflecting on the way home. Like how did I change? How did I get from who I was to who I am, which is, by the way, someone that's on their way to somewhere else? But it took strong coaching. That's what it kind of reminded me about this weekend is I've had strong coaching. Like John Hoffman's not going to spend any time with you if you're not going to do something with it. He makes $900,000 a year. He knows what his time is worth. He's nice to everybody, but he's not going to sit down with you for an hour if you're going to waste his hour. So I've had all these people around me, strong coaching, no fluff coaching. And that would snap me out of all that stuff, by the way. So it allowed me to face the brutal reality that my inaction was costing me and costing the team that I hadn't even really built yet. But those were the people I was supposed to serve. And it was uncomfortable, right? But it was exactly what I needed to break through. So for some of you, tonight might be like that feeling, like a punch in the gut feeling. And for others, it might be the permission you've been waiting for to truly just step up, to unleash a beast within you. Either way, know every word that I'm about to say comes from a place of deep respect, unwavering belief in what you're capable of, and a desire to see you succeed beyond whatever you can imagine. Again, beyond your wildest dreams. So what I'd like to do is bring to you training in the next 20, 30 minutes we're going to be together that forces you to confront the gap between your potential and your performance. And to do that, we got to go someplace like uncomfortable where you might not like everything I say. So for those of you that are here with me live, we've got the chat. Do I have your permission for that? I would love to coach you strongly. Can I get a yes in the chat if that's okay with you? And I guess if it's not, I could talk about fluffy ducks all night, or I could talk about changing your life, changing your community, putting yourself in a position to be the hero in your own story. Because that's what happened to me. And one of the things I was frustrated about, I see the yeses, thank you for that. And one of the things I was frustrated about, and I've got to be honest with you too, so I got to tell you my story to tell you the story about where you can go. One of the things I get frustrated about now is that so much time has gone by, you all have no comparison. Like, we didn't have YouTube when I got started. And even in the first 5 or 6 years that YouTube was out, nobody was recording me talking about anything. So you didn't see my progress, really. And what happens is you show up here and you're like, well, this guy has it all together. You have no idea how far I've come. If you could understand and appreciate how far, and I'm not talking about time, I'm talking about distance, like how far I am from the person that signed that associate agreement, then you would see how possible it all is for you. So you gave me your permission. I'm going to push a little. I'm going to call out the actions and mostly the inactions that are subtly, and sometimes mostly not in this team, not subtly, keeping us from the next level as a team and each of us individually from the next level for ourselves. And I think this will be a breakthrough. I really do. So you said yes. I'm going to go for it. What this business takes is not for you to quit your job if you have one. It's not for you to ignore your family if you have one. It's that in the moments that you can give this business, you give it the absolute undeniable commitment that it deserves, which is like more than just showing up for a Zoom call. It is. This is kind of how we come together, but it's about growing up. It's about accepting radical responsibility for your results. It's about shedding an old skin, old habits, old mindsets, and stepping into a new, powerful, unstoppable person that you are destined to become, the leader you were always meant to be. And sometimes, often, that requires discomfort. It requires looking at yourself honestly, directly, and without flinching, without making excuses. It requires abandoning the comfort zone that's actually holding us prisoner. It stifles our growth. It dims our light, because the truth is, what got you here won't get you there. And there is where your dreams reside. There is where you're building your legacy. There is where you truly impact lives, where you experience true financial freedom, yes, but also you realize your total purpose. So let's confront that gap I was talking about between where you are today and where you could be. And where you could be in Legal Shield 2025 is that could be a few months from now. Maybe I would have said a year from now. Now I don't even dare stretch it out that long, because if you simply commit to these principles, and we're going to fill that gap with purpose, with unwavering courage, and with consistent daily action, if you will commit to this, you're going to see the time compress like never before. So I want to stop talking about it in this team, and I want to start being about it. That's where I want us to go. 2025 is half done. I want us to stop talking about it. I want us to start being about it, okay? So let's get this fundamental concept burned into your brain. And John Fehrenbach, I'm going to go to you here in a second because he's going to help me out. This is a fundamental concept, and it has to be deeply ingrained into your mindset. It has to become an unshakable part of your operating system. For too long, I've seen associates in my team, but all over the company, chase Performance Club. They chase it as if it's the activity itself. I watched some of you last month run yourselves ragged, focusing on the outcome. And that's what associates do. They're focusing on this idea of Performance Club as the outcome before they truly master and consistently execute the input. And that's like a farmer staring at an empty field day after day, wishing, hoping, praying for a harvest, but never actually picking up a shovel, never tilling the soil, never planting a single seed. It just doesn't work like that. The universe and our business and your bank account, they don't respond to wishes. They respond to consistent, purposeful actions. So when I talk about Performance Club, I want you to know Performance Club is not the activity, it's the results. It's not the activity, it's the result. It's your monthly scoreboard. It's the harvest of your efforts. It's your monthly validation, your tangible proof that you've been doing the right activities consistently, day in and day out. Think of it like a monthly report card for your business, a clear indicator of your productivity. It tells you if you're truly on track, if you're building momentum, if you're genuinely in motion towards your goals. If you hit Performance Club because you did the work, you planted the seeds, you put in the reps, you followed the system. If you miss it, it's because you didn't do enough of the work. It's that simple. It's the undeniable law of cause and effect. And one of my frustrations is, because I had to figure this out for myself, but I've been I give myself a C- for talking about it. What I'm talking to you about, I figured out, but then I'll give myself a C- because then I've left it to you to figure it out for yourself. This is the report card. So it's not the activity. The activity is the exposures. The report card is Performance Club. So let's go to Jim Rohn, the master of like all the fundamentals, timeless in our space, right? You reap what you sow. And he also taught us life is a season, and you don't get to choose what season it is, but you get to choose what you plant in it. In our business, what you plant are exposures. If you don't plant enough, or if you plant sporadically, your harvest will be meager, inconsistent, ultimately disappointing. If you plant consistently, diligently, every single day, through every season, your harvest will be abundant and, more importantly, predictable. So it's fun to do this business and truly life-changing. You can't sow once and expect a lifetime harvest. You sow continuously, daily. You must treat your business like a thriving farm, cultivating consistently with care and intention. not a fleeting like lottery ticket you hope to win with minimal effort. So if Performance Club is the result, what's the activity? What's the daily practice? What's the engine that drives everything? What's the seed planting that leads to your harvest? It's daily exposures. And so I asked John Fehrenbach to jump in with me here tonight and talk to you about this daily exposure machine and tools that we have. Because, folks, this is what it's all about. Now John Fehrenbach's not going to brag about himself, but this is probably one of the most consistent people that I've ever worked with in the last half decade. This is someone who came into the business, wanted to know exactly how it worked, but then executed based on the answers to those questions. So, John, we're so glad to have you here. We're going to turn it over to you, sir. Take it away.
Jim, thank you, and especially for that introduction. If with your permission, team, I'd like to share my screen here. So when I first started into Legal Shield and I got this wonderful Success Team webpage, I quickly discovered that my job, my only job, and this sounds weird, but my only job was to create guest accounts and get those guest accounts to go through so that they completed their orientation. But for me, my exposure, what I thought was my exposure was creating guest accounts. So if it's your job to do that, you have to do this many exposures of our websites, right, to get so many guest accounts created. And then of those guest accounts that you create, right, that's going to hone down to how many actually completed the orientation, which will hone down to how many people that you actually talk to and become associates. So looking at, uh, so what do you send people, right? So right here, my website links. It's all on your associate access page. I think everybody's, at least these first initial links here are the same for everybody. So the membership exposure page, right? When you click on that, it opens up this Melissa Peters 11 and a half minute or almost 12-minute presentation of Legal Shield and ID Shield, which to me is the ultimate selling tool of Legal Shield and ID Shield. And from here, they can actually click Enroll Now, which takes them right to your marketing website. They can look for, get more details, look for member stories, or contact us, which is actually a link to get them to send an email back to you. So for me, the membership exposure, just simply membership exposure, not exposing for for the opportunity, is this Melissa Peters website. Now, if you look at my statistics, you'll see that they are warped. Okay. I use the next one I'm about to show you a lot more than what I use this one for. But there are circumstances. I had an associate today was asking me questions about what she should send somebody that was interested in just the plans. This is the website I would send somebody if they're just interested in the plans. And they can enroll now. Once they get through the website, if they call, I said to this person I was talking to, if they call you and you feel like you're over your head, guess what? That's why we have the three-way calls, right? In the baseball diamond, you have the exposure, send them the website, follow up, what'd you like best about what you learned, and then the three-way call. And that's when you bring one of the leaders of the team to answer any questions and help them get enrolled in their plans. I, I mean that's the process. It is not difficult. We overcomplicate it. I overcomplicate it. It is as simple as what you just heard there. And sending them this enrollment web, excuse me, this plan overview website right here, the first one, the membership exposure website. You copy this link, paste it into a text if you're on your phone, or paste it into an email, and you can send that to anybody in the United States and Canada, and they will have a beautiful presentation in front of them. The second one, and that one I use, that's my number two. The one I use the most is this opportunity exposure website. And my guess is that everybody on this call, for the most part, at least since in the past 4 years since I've been here, um, is able to send this business overview website. And this presentation is Mr. Rich's, as you guys all know, giving this business overview, and it's about 23, 24 minutes. this is what, and again, I tell you, my stats are warped. If you looked at them, you'd probably, for every one Melissa Peters, I had probably 1,000 of these Legal Shield business overview presentations. And the reason I use this one almost predominantly, even if they just ask me about the plan, is because Mark talks about the plans, but he also talks about the opportunity. And I don't want my business to be what happened to with the person who sold Mr. Tanner his first plan. He only talked to Mr. Tanner about the plans. He never talked to him about the opportunity. And 10 years later, somebody introduced the opportunity to Mr. Tanner. So I don't want to be that guy. I want to be the guy who gives them the idea that there's an opportunity as well as the plans. And from here, they can go, I'm ready for more information. And you guys all know that takes them to the guest accounts. So what I thought my job to do was get this overview in front of them and drive them to create guest accounts and then drive them through the orientation. And now we have some things in place that help to drive them through the orientation. They get a free gift, which Jim, you'll have to remind me what that is, but they get a free gift if they complete the orientation within a certain period of time. So we're actually incentivizing them to get through that hour of orientation training. So that's what I use as my number one thing that I send to most anybody. Again, you got the copy link, paste it in an email, paste it into a text if you're on your phone, looking at the website. The Dream Bigger website, they just haven't taken it off because I know that some people use this. It's not my favorite website, and I'm going to tell you why. You don't have to agree with me, but I think it gives people enough information to say they're not interested. It doesn't give them enough information to say, I want more information. And that's why I don't use that particular website. As you can see in my stats, if we're talking about two a day, I got 16 guest accounts and I pretty much work business days. So I'm doing okay on the 2 exposures a day if you count having people create a guest account as your exposure, which is where I'm at. And I think the hard truth is for all of us is that if we're not getting guest accounts, are we really getting exposures? This is what tells us, at least to me, that we are getting exposures. Jim, I'm going to hand it back to you, sir.
Thank you very much. I totally agree. Appreciate you sharing your screen. And as you saw on John's screen, 50% of the people that have created a guest account have finished the training. And this is one of the things we're going to be diving into on Monday nights is those what we call conversion numbers, right? Because there's people that create a guest account, and then there's people that disappear. They put all the information in. I mean, it can be mind-boggling, right? They fill out the form, and then we never hear from them again. And you'll no matter what, you'll never get them on the phone. That's just how some people are. So we know that in a funnel, which is what you have there, a recruiting funnel, that we're going to lose some people along the way. That's why the 2 exposures a day, because at the end of the month, you have a large enough top number that it results in a bottom number, a conversion number that is going to get you into Performance Club every month. So again, John, thank you so much for taking us through that. Let me just go back to the chat for a second. Does everybody understand the tools that you have today? Just say yes in the chat if you understand. You've got a membership exposure website. You don't have to memorize a presentation. People are saying, well, once I get it memorized, why would you wait? We designed you tools so you don't have to wait. Who should tell the story of our opportunity? Mark Riches, who's made $17 million, or the new associate who's brand new and hasn't gotten their first deposit yet? I mean, it just makes sense if you think about it. It is plug and play, Lynn. You're absolutely right. It's copy and paste. It's a system, not a project. Okay. So it's daily exposures. Say it with me, even if you're alone in your office, even if you're driving in your car, even if you're still making dinner, it's daily exposures. Let that phrase embed itself into your I'll stop getting close to the camera. I know that's weird. It's like I'm leaning in. Entertain myself. Just, what was I saying? Let it get that into your self-conscious. Make it your mantra. Write it on your mirror. Put it on your dashboard of your car. This is your commitment to yourself. 2 exposures a day, 2 guest accounts for recruiting, 2 people that watch the Melissa Peters presentation for membership sales, but 2 a day. This is your commitment to yourself, to your family, to your future. This is what you have to make non-negotiable. I know most people feel like you're alone in the wilderness because we don't talk enough, and I'm fixing this for you. This is on me. It's not on you. Whatever you're hearing tonight that you never heard before, that's my bad. Okay, but I'm fixing it. You got to make this non-negotiable. This has to be your professional standard. This is the act of consistently, intentionally, strategically putting our services in front of new eyes and ears every single day. It's the consistent, relentless action of showing people what we have, inviting them to learn more, and giving them the opportunity to make an educated decision about protecting their families and finances. The 700 people I just went on vacation with are not the most exceptional people. They're the most consistent people doing 2 exposures a day. So again, we want to make sure you understand, though, what's an exposure. So it's the Melissa Peters video. And there's a million other things, but let's talk about tonight what every single person could do no matter how busy you are. You can send that Melissa Peters presentation to somebody and follow up and make sure they watched it. You can sit down next to them and play it so you know that they watched it. That's what you can do. You can send the Mark Richards opportunity video to someone so that and then follow up with them so that you know that they watched it and get them to create a guest account and have them complete the company orientation. Or you can sit next to them so that you know that it's happening. And we have the meet and greet for your recruiting efforts Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights. We brought this back. We asked the leaders to take time out of their own family lives, out of their own business lives, to help close. And close is not the right word, but help people make a collective decision. That's what I'm going to call it. Help people by helping them collect a decision so that they're not on the fence for weeks at a time. Because once they go through the company orientation on the recruiting end and they go to the meet and greet, frankly, they're either in or they're out at that point. I mean, that's just kind of how it is. So that's what we do. We designed this for you. And in any action that moves someone closer to understanding the tangible value of Legal Shield, that's what we do, okay? So we're consistently getting in front of people, offering a solution, being present, and being professional. And I want to, some of you, you've got Performance Club locked down, but I'll just say, I remember when I finally got it. Like, I remember hitting Performance Club. It wasn't glorious. It wasn't perfect. And I had heard the concept and I'd understood it intellectually, but applying it was like a different beast. So I got focused. I made calls and I fumbled through presentations, but what it helped me do was do more presentations like in a compressed time frame. So I just kept showing up, showing people the presentation. And it did feel clumsy and I did stumble over my words, but that's what you do. You're supposed to be bad at this first. I just knew that I made the decision that I was going to do 2 exposures a day. I remember being kind of in this weird, not successful, but not successful. Like people were buying memberships from me sometimes, but it wasn't consistent enough so I could quit my job, which is what I wanted to do. And I remember being it doesn't matter, but me and Pat McGurn, one of my first recruits, standing outside of a Friendly's restaurant, Troy Schenectady Road in New York, where we were working, where we used to work together. And I remember saying to Pat these words. I said, I'm going to do it. I've decided I'm just going to do it exactly how the company says to do it. And then if it doesn't work, that's not my fault. And he thought that was great. That was my idea. Well, what does the company say to do? What's the activity? 2 exposures a day. So I just prioritized that. And some days it felt like pulling teeth. I mean, I talked to people I know, get referrals from people to people I didn't know, right? But it wasn't easy. But I just knew that if the company was saying it's 2 exposures a day, if Jeff Olson was in this famous training that he recorded called Power Training, said it's 2 exposures a day, then I would do it. And I remember hitting Performance Club. I felt like I won the Olympics. And you don't get a bonus check right away. Back then, it took 12 months to get your first check. So I would hit it and miss it. I'm not saying that I just turned the corner and it was easy. But qualifying in a month proved that my actions, listen to me, that was proof to me that those consistent actions created the result. So it solidified my belief in the system. And more importantly, that I could win with the system. It transformed this intangible idea of success into a tangible reality. It was like climbing the first mountain peak. And then you realize, of course, there's bigger mountains to conquer. I knew that, but I realized I climbed the first one. I could do it. So that first Performance Club qualification, it wasn't just the number. It was a psychological breakthrough. It was the first vote, I'll come back to that in a second, that truly defined my new identity. But think about it like this. It's kind of like if you wanted to become a world-class musician, stepping onto the stage at Carnegie Hall isn't the activity that makes you world-class, right? That's the result of years of dedication and discipline and consistent practice. The activity is the consistent daily practice of, if you're a musician, scales of technique, dissecting complex pieces, of playing your instrument hour after hour. My daughter's in piano. It's like there's always piano in this house. And yet, and she has to do it when she doesn't feel like it. It's the grinding repetition of fundamentals. That for us, that's daily exposures. And the performance club qualifications, the six-figure income, the bonuses, the trips, that's our Carnegie Hall performance. That's the thunderous applause. That's the standing ovation. It's the direct, inevitable result of that consistent daily effort. Folks, what I'm trying to say is you don't perform to get good. You perform because you're good, right? In Carnegie Hall, because you put in the work. Well, in Legal Shield, you don't qualify for PC to be a top earner. You qualify because you are a top earner, operating daily with discipline and purpose. And you might not be a top earner yet, but because you're operating the way the top earners operate, you're in Performance Club and the rest just comes along. So every single exposure you make, every time you share Legal Shield, every time you cast this net of opportunity, that's a vote. Why do I keep saying that? Because of James Clear, who wrote Atomic Habits. And he's the master of these tiny habits and powerful identity shifts. It's brilliant when he talks about this. He says every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. I hope you guys have read this. It was our book of the month a few months ago. Think about how profoundly simple that is. That immense quiet power. You make an exposure, you're not just trying to make a sale, you're casting a deliberate, powerful vote for being a proactive professional, high-achieving Legal Shield leader. You're voting for becoming an executive director. You're voting for financial freedom. You're voting for incredible trips, big bonuses, and a legacy. You're voting for becoming the person who truly leads with conviction and impact of other people's lives on a massive scale. You're building that identity brick by brick, exposure by exposure. Each no is just another vote for your consistency. Each yes is a vote for your impact. But also, kind of the opposite, every day you don't make exposures, every day you choose to procrastinate, every day you hide behind busy work or endlessly prepare instead of execute, that's also a vote. And it's a powerful vote. Please don't be mad at me. You said this was okay. I get emotional about this because it's a crossroads that I was at. It's a vote for staying exactly where you are. I know where I'd be today without this business, without those daily consistent actions. I'd be right where I was when I became an associate. I'd be the guy bringing you your sofa. So it's a powerful vote because you're voting to stay where you are. It's a vote for stagnation. It's a vote for unfulfilled potential. It's a vote against your dreams. So which person are you voting for today and every day, day by day and vote by vote? Who are you truly becoming through your consistent actions or your consistent lack of action? We each get this choice. The choice is ours every single day. And the compounding effect of these daily votes is immense. This is not some abstract theory. This is the fundamental, immutable law of cause and effect in Legal Shield. And Jim Rohn taught us this. You reap what you sow, right? If you want to harvest Performance Club, you must sow the seeds, exposures. You can't sow once and expect a lifetime harvest. We said that. You must sow continually, daily. So the question isn't, how do I Performance Club qualify? The question isn't, how do I get to executive director? The question that truly matters, the question that dictates your income, your rank, your future, your freedom, your impact, your legacy is, how many exposures am I committed to making every single day? And it only takes 2. Am I willing to consistently cast those votes for my future self, even when it's uncomfortable, even when I'm tired, even when I face rejection, even when I don't feel like it? That's the question that dictates our success. Answer it with courage, and then with unwavering conviction, please act on it. Don't do it now while we're talking because we're going to run out of time, but just write this note for yourself and then take this to your journal later to reflect in your own words. What does daily exposure mean to you? Like, what does it look like in your schedule? What is it really going to do how is it really going to impact your life? Like, is it going to throw your life into turmoil, or can you fit it in? Like we all say, part-time, spare time, slices of time, stolen moments. Can you do that? Or do you think that it's too impossible and that we're too careless with our words? What is your non-negotiable? Is it 2 exposures for tomorrow? Write it down. Something for you to do when we're done tonight. But it isn't just about Performance Club. See, the path to executive director, and I've taken a team to platinum before and beyond, which is where you have a group of executive directors. Before COVID, I was able to, with messages similar to this, to ignite a vision in people so that they wanted to be executive directors with me. That took us to a platinum organization. I have not done as well in the recent years, and quite frankly, 2020, 21, 22, 23, I was playing not to lose, and I know that now. But I am firmly focused on winning. I want to know who wants to go all the way. Who wants to take this back to a platinum organization? Who wants to then build their own platinum organization on the same consistency? Because the path to executive director, charting your course to 6 figures and beyond for your family's future, comes through this, right? It's the daily exposures that are so incredibly crucial. And here's why. Consistent Performance Club qualification is not just a monthly goal, but it becomes the absolute minimum standard, your very foundation, your unbreakable habit, because it's the unmistakable, proven, direct path if you're building a team to becoming an executive director. There's no shortcuts around this. Well, the alternative is you go into group sales and you sign up those people by yourself, and that's okay too, but we can talk about that another Monday night. So if you want to get to executive director with a team and create leverage, there's no shortcut. There's no secret formula that bypasses consistent action. It's this path and this path alone for the entire company. Like, you show me a platinum, you show me an executive director, unless they're doing the sales by themselves in employee benefit sales, they're all doing it by what we're talking about right now, by building a small, formidable team of people that are Performance Club qualified. It's this path. It's only this path. There's no second way to do it. And then you get the freedom and the impact on other people that hopefully you crave, okay? So what does executive director mean? I know I'm going to run out of time if I don't go quick. For starters, it means a 6-figure annual income. Yep. Now, maybe not right away, but it'll start showing up as 5,000, 6,000 a month, where it was 2 or 3 before at executive director. And the volume will continue to build to 7 and then 8 and 9. The bonuses will kick in. It'll be $10,000 and $11,000 a month. We're talking about $100,000 a year and up. And this is, listen to me, I don't care where you live, $100,000 a year from home. This is not just about paying the bills. You're paying off every shred of debt, building savings, creating multiple streams of passive income, and changing your family's trajectory for generations to come. It provides options. It creates choices. It means genuine freedom, time freedom, financial freedom, geographical freedom. Think about that for a second. $100,000 a year with your business from home. What would that mean for you, for your family, for your children's education? Imagine them graduating from college debt-free. I've told you guys this story before. My wife went to 4 years of college at UVM in Vermont, went and got her master's at the University of Denver, came home, got a PhD at Northeastern University, and graduated debt-free. What would that mean for your family to be in that situation? Again, college debt-free, pursuing your dreams without financial constraint. I always joke around. I say, we're working hard now so that my daughter doesn't have to make tough choices later. She can do anything she wants to do. She can teach public school and make no money, and it won't matter. She can serve her community in any way that she wants, in whatever way it lights her up, because we're setting her up for that. So what does it mean to live your dreams without financial constraint? for your parents and your grandparents' retirement. Imagine supporting them, giving them peace of mind, allowing them to relax after a lifetime of hard work. For your own dreams of giving back to your community, supporting causes you believe in, or building a foundation that impacts lives beyond your own lifetime. What would an extra $100,000 a year consistently flowing into your household allow you to do, or what would it allow you to become? What worries would it completely alleviate, dissolving into thin air? What new possibilities would it open up for your passions, your hobbies, your personal growth? What kind of financial legacy would you start building right now today? Take a moment. Think about it. Close your eyes if you want to. Visualize it. What does that life look like for you? What emotions does it stir? Think about what an extra $100,000 a year would allow you to do, would allow you to become. Let those dreams soar. Don't protect yourself from disappointment by not dreaming, because you can't get there without the vision. Let them ignite a fire without you, a fire so powerful it burns away all hesitations. I see those dreams. I've lived some of this, and it's hard to share this without it seeming like bragging. It makes people shut down. But things that used to be on my wall are in my life. The cars, the houses. I see those dreams for you: a new house, a dream car, college tuition paid in full, complete debt freedom, traveling the world without budget constraints, more quality time with family without the constant stress of money, finally starting that passion project you've always dreamed of. We're talking about your art, your music, your destiny. That's the real power of this opportunity. It's not about doing nothing, it's about doing everything, because nothing's holding you back. That's what consistent daily exposures leading to Performance Club unlocks. It's not just the money, it's the freedom and the peace of mind that money provides when you're truly serving, truly leading, and truly building. So how do you hit executive director? It's not magic. It's not about being a charismatic super salesperson. It's not about complex algorithms or hidden strategies that only a few people know. It's math applied with ruthless consistency and genuine servant leadership. I think about Brian Carruthers, the undisputed master of strategic duplication in this company. What does he teach? Simple, elegant formula that unlocks massive growth. A formula based on common sense and relentless execution. That it takes 10 or 12 people on your team consistently Performance Club qualifying, plus you, to qualify for executive director every month. That's the formula. It's duplicatable, it's repeatable, it's scalable, it's a system. First, you set the example. You become the living proof. You get yourself into Performance Club with your diligent daily exposures, month after month. You become the product of the product, the undeniable proof that the system works, that the consistent daily action produces consistent results. Then you focus relentlessly on helping your people, 10 to 12, on your team do the exact same thing. You don't just tell them, you show them. You coach them, you mentor them, you support them through their challenges. You transfer your belief to them. You teach them the discipline of daily exposures just as you learned it. You show them how to plant those seeds, how to cultivate, how to watch their harvest grow. You help them achieve their Performance Club qualification. You celebrate their wins. You guide them through their inevitable challenges, and boom, you're an executive director. You're in six-figure territory. You built a powerful, thriving team of doers. And that's where the magic of leverage truly kicks in. You're not just selling, you're building leaders, you're replicating success. I'm sure you can imagine, I will never forget the first time I qualified as an executive director. I remember it like it was yesterday. It wasn't any one single membership that signed up. It was the culmination of those memberships all month, but the months leading up to it. The consistency of it, of getting up when I wanted to quit, of making daily exposures, and most importantly, of pouring into my little team. I had focused on a handful of key individuals who showed up consistently, who showed heart, who showed a willingness to learn and apply, and I worked with them, and I helped them make their list, do exposures, get to Performance Club. First month, then their second, and on. We celebrated when they Performance Club qualified. We treated it well, and that relentless focus on helping them meant that I was consistently building a team of Performance Club qualifiers. My volume was building. And the moment I realized that it really happened, and it was close that first month, I promise it was close. But it wasn't just a number, it was a realization that I had built something real, something sustainable. It was proof that the promise of Legal Shield was true, not just for me, but for the people I cared about on my team. It was the profound satisfaction of knowing I had helped others step into their own power. And in doing so, I had unlocked a whole new level for myself. It was the beginning of true time and financial freedom. It felt kind of like being the conductor of an orchestra, and finally all the instruments are playing in perfect harmony, creating a beautiful symphony of success. Each Performance Club qualifier was a perfectly tuned instrument playing their part. Let me tell you, executive director is not the peak. It's the launch pad. It's the beginning of a whole new level of possibility, of impact, of income. From there, with those same duplicatable systems and that same unwavering focus on consistent daily exposures, you're on the accelerating path to Millionaire Club. Les Brown, who some of you know I've been personally mentored by, he was the master of possibility, of setting a vision. He would always say, you are a lion. You have a lion's heart. Let me add that as an executive director, you embrace that lion's heart, leading your pride, knowing that what you've achieved is just the start. As an executive director earning a six-figure income, within 10 years, potentially sooner, you're earning over $1 million total. That's the legacy you build. That's the generational wealth from your residuals that transforms your family tree for generations to come. That's creating a ripple effect that benefits everyone you touch. That's the freedom to truly design your life, not just live it by default. This is not luck. This isn't about being born with a specific talent. This isn't about some innate, unteachable ability. This is about being systematic, disciplined, and being genuine servant leaders. A servant leader who empowers others to achieve their goals through consistent daily action. It's about creating a culture of consistent activity, a culture of results, a culture of unwavering belief. And it all starts with your daily exposures, leading to your Performance Club qualification. You set the pace. You show the way. You become the beacon, the example, the undisputed leader. Go back to your journal later and write this too. Think about your team or the team you're building. Maybe people haven't shown up yet. Who are going to be those 3 to 5 you see as your core Performance Club qualifiers? Who will you pour into? Write their names down. Then write down one specific action you're going to take tomorrow, if they're already in your team, to help them get their next exposure. And if you're saying, Jim, I don't have 3 to 5, then this is a free moment. This is open lane, wide open fresh waters for you to focus entirely on exposures and following up and getting your team going. Because you have a list, and I'm not going to run out of time, but I just want to talk about the list. This is your greatest asset. You know what the biggest bottleneck is? The most significant point of resistance? The subtle sabotage that derails so much of us when we're getting focused on the daily exposures. We've frankly run out of people to talk to. But your friends, your family, your colleagues, your neighbors, your barber, the person you get your coffee from, your kid's soccer coach, your old roommate, your former boss, your yoga instructor, your dentist, your mechanic, your postal worker. I'm gonna run out of things. Every single person in your phone contacts. I see you though. I know the hesitation, the anxiety that creeps in, feeling like it's like a physical weight on your chest, the fear of rejection that feels like a personal attack, the insidious thoughts that whisper, I just don't want to bother them. What if they judge me? I'll just stick to the cold market. It feels safer, less personal, less vulnerable. They don't know me, so it's easier to hear no. No. That's just a story you're telling yourself. It's a limiting belief that is directly hindering your potential and, frankly, your ability to serve others. It's a disservice to yourself, to your dreams, and more importantly, to the people on that list who desperately need what we have. It's a disservice to your why, your motivation. Let me challenge your perspective on this. Your list is not a sales task. Your list is a mission. It's your greatest asset. It's where you begin your journey of impact. It's where you start to fulfill your deeper why. This is why Simon Sinek always says, start with why, right? What is your fundamental why for being in Legal Shield? Is it just to make money, to get a few checks, to hit a certain rank? Or is it because you genuinely, deeply, believe in protecting families, empowering small businesses, and giving people the peace of mind they never knew they could have? Is it because you understand the profound, tangible value of what we offer, the real world difference it makes in lives every single day? If you believe in our mission, if you believe in what Harlan Stonecipher started, and I know you do, and I know that's why you're here, because you have a heart of service, then approaching your warm market isn't about selling, it's about serving. It's about leading. It's about extending a hand, a solution, a lifeline. It's about giving the people you know and care about the most access to solutions they desperately need, even if they don't articulate that need yet. They don't know what we know. They don't know what they don't know. And you have the key. You hold the answer to their potential problems. I mean, if your closest friend was struggling with a complex legal problem, contentious divorce, tricky will, whatever, car accident, they're being taken advantage of. If your family member was facing identity theft and their life savings was at risk, their credit's ruined, their peace is shattered, their future's jeopardized. If your neighbor got pulled over for a traffic ticket and was panicking about the points and the insurance, you have the solution that can genuinely help them and alleviate their stress and protect their future and save them thousands of dollars and countless headaches. Why would you withhold it out of fear of being salesy? Of course not. You wouldn't do that. That would be a fundamental failure of leadership and friendship, a betrayal of your moral compass. That would be a failure of your mission, a failure to act on your why. I think about Darnell Self. Nobody says it better than Darnell Self. But he talks about this. He says, you come at this with a massive heart and an unwavering commitment to family and community. And that reminds us that this business is about caring for people deeply. It's about protecting what matters most: family, finances, peace of mind, identity. And who better to start with? Who deserves the protection more than the people you already know and care about? You're worried about what they'll think? What about what you will think when you know that someone you love faced a crisis, big or small, and you never even bothered to offer them the protection because you were too reluctant to pick up the phone, too consumed by your own insecurity, too worried about what someone might say? That's a weight no one should have to carry. That's a regret that lingers far longer than hearing somebody say no. And again, I'm just saying these things to you because it's important that we talk about these things so that we can free ourselves from them, right? Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V, he cuts through the noise and the self-doubt like no one else. He says, stop overthinking it. Go fast, keep it real. That applies directly to your list. Don't script yourself to death. Don't wait for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. Just connect. Be authentic. Your warm market already knows you, likes you, trusts you to some degree. That's a massive, irreplaceable advantage. They're more likely to listen to you because of it. They're more likely to consider it. They're more likely to give you the time of day for an exposure than a complete stranger. You don't have to build rapport from scratch with people you know. The rapport is already there. This is your ground zero for immediate, effective daily exposures. This is where you get your reps in. This is where you build confidence. Eric Worre, in his teachings on being a professional in our space and getting started right, he always says starting with your warm market is important because it's where you learn, adapt, and build skills in a more supportive, hopefully, forgiving environment. And if it's not supportive and forgiving, it's where you develop the thick skin, the unwavering conviction, the genuine storytelling ability needed for long-term massive success. It's where you're going to become a professional. So your mission is clear, right? I'm out of time. Share the gift. Your list contains the people who need it most, whether they realize it or not. Stop hiding, stop procrastinating, lead with courage, lead with service, and commit to exposing to these people our life-changing services. It's the fastest, most effective way to start getting these consistent daily exposures that lead directly to Performance Club. Don't be selfish with our solutions. Unleash the power of your network. Watch your business and your impact explode. Now, last thing, and we're going to call it a night. Let's talk about why you want to hit Performance Club consistently, beyond the undeniable six-figure income as an executive director and the clear path to Millionaire Club, beyond the deep satisfaction of truly serving others, beyond protecting families, beyond building your own legacy. There's incredible, tangible rewards that make this journey not just financially lucrative, but deeply fulfilling, uniquely empowering, and fun. They're the bonuses and the lifestyle perks that few other professions, few other businesses can offer for the level of effort and commitment we put in. The rewards for becoming a consistent daily doer in our business allows you to play at a championship level, right? Cash bonuses on top of our commissions, $200, $300, $500 a month, $1,000 a month, $1,500 a month with the matching bonuses. I mean, just think about what an extra $1,000 a month consistently flowing into your household mean for your budget right now while you're building. What looming bill could you pay off permanently? Finally, erasing that monthly anxiety. What nagging financial stress could you alleviate? Feeling the weight lift from your shoulders. What long-desired extra treat could you give yourself or your family? Maybe it's paying for another sport activity for your kids without thinking twice, or taking a weekend getaway you've been dreaming about, or building an emergency fund that gives you peace of mind. This isn't theoretical. This is real money that directly rewards your consistent daily exposures and your commitment to Performance Club. It's a tangible thank you from the company to you for your discipline, for your courage, and for your leadership. It's almost instant gratification today. It starts coming in month 3 that fuels long-term vision, proving the system works every single month. And then there's the trips, like we started talking about, where the lifestyle of Legal Shield really shows up, right? It's all expenses paid. They're luxury vacations. They're breathtaking destinations. Mark Richards showed you some photos this morning around the globe. Just imagine if you were with us at Riviera Maya, how much fun you would have had, or come with us next year to Punta Cana. These are just incredible. And they're 5-star resorts, exotic locations. I mean, I can't say enough about it, but I've said so much, I almost don't want to talk about it. And they're not just vacations, they're experiences. They're opportunities to create incredible memories with your loved ones that you bring with you, to strengthen bonds, share laughter, to recharge, reconnect. And there are also opportunities to connect with the top leaders in the company, to learn directly from them, to soak in their wisdom, to understand their strategies, and to celebrate your shared success. It's really, really important that you prioritize Performance Club for all of the reasons we're talking about tonight. But I know I'm at the top of the hour, so I just want to wrap up. I just want to say a few last things about it. I want to talk about Tony Robbins, because Tony Robbins, obviously he's the master of this kind of personal development space, peak performance, and he teaches that proximity is power. And when you're on the trips, I mean, you see I'm coming back different, right? And I'm always different. You're not just on vacation. You're in proximity with the best of the best. You're rubbing shoulders with the people who make the big money, who built the massive organizations, who have mastered the art of daily exposures and consistent qualification. You're having casual conversations. You're learning, you're growing, you're absorbing the energy, the mindset, the precise strategies. You're not just learning what they do, but how they think, how they handle challenges, what habits they cultivate, what emotional state they master. You absorb their belief, their conviction, their unstoppable drive. And you bring that back to your business, propelling you even faster to executive director and beyond. The insights you gain from a dinner conversation with a top leader could be worth more than any formal training you'll ever pay for. So the urgency is real. We need you to be Performance Club qualified this month so that you can be on the path to be with us on the next trip. The rewards are real. The trip is real. The cash is real. The path is clear. Consistent daily exposures leading to consistent Performance Club qualification every single month. This is how you earn the income, the bonuses, the lifestyle, the trip. This is how you build a business that not only serves others, but also serves your deepest desires for freedom, adventure, and personal mastery. And I know some of you are listening right now, absorbing all of this, feeling my energy, seeing the possibilities, and a part of you, that small voice is thinking, Jim, that all sounds incredibly, truly life-changing, but I don't feel it yet. I don't have that unshakable belief. I have doubts, right? Some of you, that's you. I'm afraid to take those consistent daily exposures. I'm afraid of what people will say or failing. And that's okay. Seriously. It's normal. It's the human response to anything big and worthwhile. That's why I'm here. That's why each of you, I've said to you all in one-on-one conversations, that's what I'm here for. Because they poured into me so that I could pour into you. That's why I'm here. That's why we have this incredible community, this team, this family. We all start somewhere. Belief isn't usually a lightning bolt moment that strikes you out of the blue. It's built incrementally, steadily through consistent action and consistent wins. It's a muscle that strengthens with every rep, every exposure, every no that leads to a yes. But here's the beautiful, profound, empowering truth. A secret weapon many of you don't even realize that you possess. You don't have to generate all that belief on your own, especially when you're starting. You can borrow mine. It's kind of like a battery. Maybe your battery is a little low right now. Maybe it's even completely drained, flickering on empty. Mine, what do you think? Mine's fully charged, overflowing, radiating energy, connected to an endless power source. I've been doing this for 2 decades. I've seen this system work for thousands and thousands of people from every background imaginable. Single parents struggling to make ends meet, seasoned professionals looking for more purpose, graduates searching for their path, people started with nothing but a dream and a burning desire. I've seen lives transformed beyond recognition. I've seen financial burdens lifted like magic. I've seen confidence bloom in the most unassuming individuals. I've seen people who thought they weren't salespeople become incredible leaders and impact hundreds of lives, building massive teams and legacies. Dudes, ladies and gentlemen, I know this works. I know that consistent daily exposures work. I know that Performance Club is a non-negotiable benchmark that when hit consistently unleashes your potential. I know you can do this. My belief in this company, in our services, in our mission, and in most importantly, in your inherent boundless potential is unshakable. It's a deep conviction born from years of seeing results, of witnessing miracles before my very eyes, of watching ordinary people achieve extraordinary things. So when you feel that flicker of doubt, that hesitation about your next exposure, that fear of tackling your list, I want you to literally, consciously, deliberately borrow my belief. Draw from my conviction. It's always available to you because I know that you can do this. Now, why? Because you didn't come this far to just come this far. We often say so much, Legal Shield found me. There's a profound statement. Legal Shield did find you. You were looking for an open door. That door was open and you chose to walk through it. And now you're here on this side with us. And what you do every single day, every exposure you make, every choice you make, every vote for a radically different future or the life you're trying to leave behind, what you do matters. And those decisions are profound. This is important, noble work. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so grateful that I get to do it with all of you. Thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for Sonora and John kicking us off. Have a great night, everybody.